Hello and welcome, I'm Falcon, and this is the Debrief again. I am today joined by Wraith.
Hello.
Panther.
Hiya.
North.
Hi.
And again, for the third time, Irish.
Good evening.
So, it's, lockdown month number 3? This is our third debrief as well. It's going on and on and on, but the restrictions are starting to ease because the R rate is coming down, and the infections and the deaths are starting to come down. So there is some good news. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. But
if you say so.
If we, according to the government, we won't get into that one. Now, as we all are aware, Airsoft was pretty much had its brakes slammed on, and everything stopped in March, didn't it?
Boo.
Boo. Yeah, me and Wraith and 24 Bravo went out to game early March. After that, nothing.
You spreading the disease?
Hello?
Yeah.
It's all Ben's fault.
Were you breathing on people?
Yeah, I was getting a bit excited with all the NVGs that were going around because it was in a tunnel that was very dark. But anyway.
Where did you go?
It was the outpost in Kidderminster. The one I said I was going. Yes, I know.
It was good.
When it opens up.
Sorry, I just. Last time we went to Kidderminster, it's the same place that I think it is. The amount of jokes that came out of that place when we went to the
Severn Valley
World
Railway.
War II. Yeah.
Yeah, it's roughly the same area. But anyway, as we all know, all the sites were classed as leisure centres, like paintball and laser tag and everything like that, and were shut down. And a couple of weeks ago, something surfaced in some of the Facebook groups about a site in the UK that was planning to open that weekend in the middle of the lockdown earlier this month. It was going to be pre-book only. It didn't really state what other social distancing measures were going to be in place, but they were going to limit the number of players. But I also heard a rumour that it could have been up to 120 people. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it was no groups above 2 out in public.
Yeah, at the time.
At the time, yeah. Like I said, this is only a couple of weeks ago. The restrictions have literally started easing.
Yeah, but they've released that much, and it's only about, 10? Is it now? 10 or 11 people you can get in?
You can now go out with 6 people out of your household, but you still have to social distance.
Yes, so you're allowed into people's gardens. You're allowed through the house into the back garden, and obviously go to the toilet at the person's house.
You're only allowed to go through the house if there's no other way to get through to the garden.
Yeah, and obviously to use the toilet, because you still need your humanity stuff. But anyway, so everyone pretty much jumped on them. The majority of people jumped on them, saying, "What are you doing?" And as far as I'm aware, this game actually went ahead. I haven't heard anything since.
No, I don't think it did.
Let me just check. I'll just quickly grab my phone.
No. From what I read on the oracles that is Facebook, the site cancelled their game because everyone was kicking off at them and wanting to fight them and stab them.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Probably not the last part.
It would just be a breeding ground for it, because bearing in mind, like, you're in that kit, you're going to get very, very, very sweaty, and there's no way that, like, you're not going to be able to go the whole day without going to the toilet. You're not going to be able to. There's literally so much wrong with that. It was silly to even suggest
they've put up
trying to put a game on.
I've just checked on my phone live, and they have confirmed that the game was cancelled. And apparently it's because the guidelines on the 15th. He didn't mention anything about limits on people, but obviously, if he doesn't mention anything, you take that as a fact of it's still only 2 people. So, yes, it was cancelled.
Good.
Well, so, when did 120 ever mean 6, eh?
Well, when did 120 ever mean 2?
Some people don't know maths.
Yeah.
These guys must have failed GCSE maths.
I know I'm bad at maths, but even I can
GCSE,
tell that there's a
stage
bit of a difference between 120 and 2.
Yeah.
Now, like,
Not by much, though. Not by much. They're just breaking it by a very, very small amount, though.
yeah, only what, 198?
The ball 119 people.
See? Ben's just said 119.
I said 198.
Oh, no, that's what he said. That's why that's why he said 109.
Anyway,
Let's not go into that.
I can show you in post edit. But anyway, so they have taken the
is
decision.
worse than 119.
They have taken the decision to cancel the game, which is good. I did fall out of the story, so I wasn't covering it. I wasn't watching it closely enough. But they are now on my to watch list, and probably never go there sort of thing, because I'm thinking, no.
They're officially on the Fire Team Rogues shit list. You can censor that.
Yeah. There's a few sites on our shit
There's
list.
a couple on the please don't go here ever again list.
Yes. Because it could put you in serious harm, and it could also get you in trouble.
Not just only that, but there is one site that I won't go to. I've forgotten its name, but if I ever find out again, I won't be going there. Elitism, because they say that all their rental guns are going to be HPA.
What happened to, not mentioning names?
What?
There wasn't a name mentioned.
Elitism.
What happened to that place? Yeah.
A little bit more
No,
description,
Ben-
please, Panther.
Mate, you have to write it down somewhere so we can all see it, but can't say it, because I'm really curious as to what you mean now, because you just said, what happened to...
Well, at least describe it. I'll probably remember which one you're talking about. So, Panther, describe the site you were talking about, because we have no idea what you were talking about.
That's alright. I got mixed up with one of your terminologies. I thought elitism was a site and not the class weapon they were using.
I don't think there's a site called elitism. Anyway,
There probably is.
Yeah, there probably is.
So, to carry on with the opening of site story after my little technical glitch there, because of the change in restrictions this weekend, as of recording, a site up in Scotland that I have actually forgotten the name of has decided to open this weekend. It's going to be pre-book only, limited to 40 players. You are not allowed to car share. There will be no safe zone, no shop, no tech or anything like that. You have to unpack and unload out of your car. And of course, keep social distancing in the safe zone. Once you're in the game, as we all know, being airsofters, getting that close to someone, especially enemy players, is very, very rare.
Well,
yeah.
The amount of times at Stormforce, I'm not saying anything bad about the site, where you have 5-10 people crammed into the rooms there, which on a normal game day is fine. It's probably more funny when you're all crammed in because there's shit flying everywhere and
especially when
no one really knows what's going on.
Especially when a good BFG comes flying through the door.
Look, that was
my god, that was
traumatic.
Scary.
Okay,
I'm still not over that. I am still not over that.
When you're sat in a room of 5 or 6 fully grown blokes screaming, sat on the floor and kicking an impact grenade, one that says to fight impact, and they're kicking it around on the floor trying to get it out of the room. That's a traumatic experience.
I was marshalling that day. I was outside and I could hear these guys screaming inside. It was absolutely epic. I loved it.
We were screaming like little girls. We were screaming like little girls, though. That was the thing. You're talking 20 years plus. We were screaming like 10-year-old little girls
as well. It was anyway. Back to it. So yes, this site up in Scotland is opening up this weekend. 40 players unload out your pack your cars and everything, and keep social distancing. So, opinions. Do you think it's too early as of now, as of recording on the 30th of May? Do you think it's too early for airsoft sites in general?
Yes.
Okay. Let's bring that down a bit, shall we? Rafe.
Yeah.
Unless you're...
sorry, do I need to change my opinion? Do I need to say yes, they should open now?
we need someone to play devil's advocate here. Unless your maximum limit is 6 people and a minimum engagement distance of 2 meters, then...
And there's a shack for everyone. You have one shack between you.
Right. I've just solved the problem, right? So...
120 shacks.
So, right, at Stormforce, the bolt-action sniper you have to book it on, and you also have an engagement, like
Minimum
a
engagement.
minimum engagement thing of 20 meters. There you go. You have a site. You say, right, you can only have 350 plus FPS bolt action snipers, and you cannot go within 20 meters of people.
So 500
There you
bolt
go.
action rifles. What if you don't have a,
Yes.
What if you don't own a 500 bolt action sniper rifle?
You can't go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's me out there.
Yeah, and
The only person in Fighting Rogue that can actually go is Tom.
No, what,
Oh, back saying I gotta go somewhere.
what we'll do is
Bye, Tom.
what we'll do is we'll just tag team it. So one person will go out with it, do like half an hour, come back. They'll clean it all down. The next person
disinfect
go out,
it.
come back, cleans it all down. We'll just cycle through this one rifle, which sounds a bit
Or-
disturbing, but
Or, right, rather than using airsoft guns, we just run around with bottles of Dettol and spray everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Okay then. So
excuse me, what's the
What are you
FPS on
wearing,
that
Bob?
Dettol spray?
I'm
20. I
gonna
think
get
it's
my chrono-
20.
I'm gonna get my chrono now and
600.
test it.
Oh my god. Right, that is another video.
What?
Literally, we are
Testing
going to
Dettol
get...
spray.
No, we're going to get a load of different things, and we are going, like, random things, and we're going to put it through the chrono and see what FPS it comes out. Like Nerf Nerf guns, spitballs, you name it, it's going,
Oh.
it's going
No, we
through
did-
that chrono.
We have done an air rifle before through a chrono, haven't we? Then,
Yeah, me and North.
and that was over
North-
1,000.
Right,
No,
just for public announcement, North is a trained and qualified air rifle instructor, and this was done under his supervision at an air rifle range. So, yeah. Just get that legal bit out of the way, so we weren't prattling about with.
well, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with legally
I mean,
owning an air rifle and stuff. It is running a proper range.
yeah.
which
so
way
you were the instructor and range officer, weren't you? So it was.
Yeah.
It was after a really bad airsoft game, which has ended up on one of our blacklists. That site has, but yeah, North texted me like, "Do you want to come around to the range that I'm running and just bring your chrono and I'll let you shoot for a bit?" I was like, "Yeah, go on then."
That was actually Dad's idea.
Was it Dad's? Okay, two
Yeah,
good those.
He was like, I wonder how fast these things shoot. I was like, I think Ben's got his chrono.
Fair enough. Well, we set it to the weight and it was. Actually, was it about the same speed?
No, it was a lot faster.
No, it was not. Anyway, so what about airsoft shops? Do we think airsoft shops should be opening? Because some
No.
are. No.
I mean, they're all open online at the moment.
Well, yeah, besides
Because
online.
you think about it, right, is when you go to an airsoft shop, literally all of them have the guns on the walls.
Right.
Unless you have someone walking around the shop with a bottle of something, disinfectant, and like kitchen towel to dry it,
What if they give
you not
gloves,
you can't,
What if they give you gloves?
So what I think is
because you there's literally no kind of there's hardly going to be any way to stop the as soon as you touch something, you're going to have to change your gloves, chuck them in the bin. As soon as someone wears them, you have to chuck the gloves and put them in the bin.
Well, yeah,
There's no way that unless it was unless it was a normal shop, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Well, they
to
say that
actually-
Essential can open on the 15th of June. So would that include airsoft shops?
I think you could do it. However, you'd need to implement a no touchy policy.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to implement no browsing because, like, you know,
Just come in and
Essentially-
pick up what you need.
if you need
Yeah.
something, come in and get it. If you're, you know, if you're looking for a rifle and you want to try them all out, wait. Like, it's not like
Yeah,
you
there's
go
no
into a
rush.
game.
Yeah, the games aren't open yet, so there's no rush getting rifles, is there?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe get your bare essentials, like maybe a new battery, if you need any more bottles of BBs, get a couple of bottles of BBs.
Pyro, if it's
So
And I
it.
think- right, I think this is where there's a few airsoft shops, including our local one, JD, that actually operate a really, really good click and
Did that game out?
collect. No, it's fine because it's a positive thing.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay,
matter.
Give
positive.
him that one, yeah.
They, like I said at the start, like I said before the video, is we can name if it's positive, and it is. They've got a really, really good click and collect service. Literally, you order something, and within an hour, it is ready to go. You can go and collect it within an hour.
Yeah,
because I've done that on a few times.
They hold it for 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah, so that is brilliant.
But yeah, no.
So you need essentials, like you need BBs, or you want a new battery, or some you want to, let's say, some attachment. You click and collect it. You pay for it while you're at home, and then all you do is you walk into the shop, you give them the name, and they then collect your order. So the only people that are going to be touching your order is probably someone wearing gloves to that specific order, and you, which is very, very minimal risk. And I think that is where
if you put a shield on the counter like a lot of the shops are at the minute, then that makes it even safer. So.
With a big enough hole to put a rifle through.
Yeah.
Well, no, but
well, what you got to realize is that, like, at the minute, out of all of us, I am the expert of social distancing and keeping everybody and everything clean.
Yes, you are an essential retailer, whereas
I am
a worker in a warehouse.
So it doesn't mean that whoever's working is like for example, I think Falcon, you're the only one. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the only one that's still working alongside me.
Tom,
correct me if I'm wrong.
I think everyone but North is working, if I'm right.
Yeah, boy.
Skyver.
Not Skyver. Doing my country a service.
Is he?
Yeah, he has got his
defending your wall.
He has got
a yeah.
You have been back to work though, haven't you, North? You went and did a signaller's course, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you've got another course coming up soon.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next Monday. But anyway, yeah. So, what about? I'm going to ask Wraith this question. Do you think shops should have a minimum number of people inside, like a waiting list outside the supermarkets have?
Depends on the shop, to be honest.
10.
Because
we operate in our store. We operate 10 people, or as little as we can physically get it. Like, if you've ever been to my shop, there is a hairdresser's and a Chinese next to it, and we have genuinely had queues of about 20 people from the entrance to our shop all the way down to the Chinese. The more people you've got in the store, the more, or in a place, the more risk of infection it's going to be.
You've got to remember as well, Josh, that this is not a essential supermarket suite. This is an airsoft shop. So
true, but again,
we've been in shops that have been busy that have had 10 people in, and you do end up bumping into each other. So
well, the thing is, the way that you could do it is, especially with JD, is you could have click and collect slots every 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So you could have 4 people in the shop at, like, let's say for example, you've got one at 10, one at 10:15, one at 10:30. You'd be able to get the vast majority of the orders out by the time you shut at 5:30.
I mean, the other option is to get it delivered, but I've heard a lot of people moaning about shops delivery online, but you also have to take in effect, this is middle of lockdown, everyone's at home ordering stuff. The deliveries I have spoken to quite a lot. We get quite a few of the especially postmen and delivery drivers that stop off, grab some lunch and go, and they've said that their workload has increased by about 3 times. Medusa's mother and older sister are drivers for a delivery company, and they've actually been more busier during this period than they are at Christmas.
It's been mad for us as well, because I work up at a local chemist, and, well, obviously we've not had to shut down, because we're essential NHS, if you like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, on an average day, we don't really take that much money. It's a lot of collecting scripts that are exempt for all sorts of reasons, either they're over 60 or exempt for medical reasons, etc. So we don't really take that much in terms of money. But my God, since this whole lockdown's been started, it's been crazy. We've basically brought into the shop triple the amount of money we'd normally take. It's crazy.
So We've
We're
added
only
at least.
we can't actually social distance in our place because, for an example, the huts at Stormforce.
Yeah.
If you cut a quarter off it and leave the desk in the middle,
yeah,
that's how big our dispensary is. You can't social distance with 7 people in that section alone.
Ow.
It's horrible. So we can't, and we're doing the best we can to keep like hygienically clean, just to stop everybody else from catching it.
Well,
Up until a couple of months ago, where I work, and they put shields on the front desk. We actually had our own personal face shields, like they used to have.
Yeah.
And then we had to wear face masks and latex gloves. We still operate a 1-in, 1-out system, so when we open after lunch at 2, the queue wraps around the car park.
Wow.
It's been crazy, but thankfully now, things have relaxed a lot.
Okay. So.
Okay, an interesting thing is what do people think about PPE? Is it a good thing to wear in like sort of normal supermarket, retail shop kind of environment, or is it basic?
This is another thing some other sites have been saying that I've heard mentioned, or read mentioned, should I say, is that they will be asking you on top of your protection equipment that you'd normally wear for airsoft to wear PPE. So say over your face shield to put a face mask.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
And
that's going to be it's going to be a bit weird, but or when you take the thing off, put a face mask on.
Okay, so let me just say, right, I'm a qualified first aider, and basically, if you wear a mask in an actual game, they would have to call Endex every 15 minutes for you to go back to the safe zone and change your mask, because that's how long they are good for.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the NHS staff will wear a mask, and then they'll change it after every single patient. They'll change their gloves after every single patient. I don't wear gloves at work because it's actually more hygienic to hand sanitize your hands every half an hour.
Yeah,
because the gloves, as soon as you
touch something.
Exactly.
The thing
Bang on.
Yeah. The thing we've got to remember with the masks is these NHS style medical masks are paper thin and are designed to be worn while doing medical work when you're stood round dealing with a patient, not running around a woodland being shot at doing extreme exercise.
Yeah, which is what,
so that would probably half their lifetime because you're breathing harder.
Exactly.
Also, just imagine.
Sorry, north first.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, your average airsofter hasn't been doing as much exercise because of the lockdown, and then goes and does airsoft where he's running about all day. So he's already not as fit as he normally is because he's in lockdown. He's not been able to go to the gym or anything, or he or she. And then you put this nice blue mask over his mouth and nose that blocks air intake.
Especially if they're asthmatic.
Yeah.
There are asthmatic players, especially if they're, let's admit it, slightly overweight, as we know some people are, and aren't just generally aren't the fittest of people. If you're a smoker, you could
gas masks.
Yeah. You're going to be walking around, instead of HPA tanks, it's going to be oxygen tanks.
Yeah. But then, like, the thing is, it's also, with the masks, is goggles steaming up.
Yeah.
They would steam up the goggles a lot worse than wearing, like, a woolen balaclava.
Or a mesh shield.
So,
just about to mention that, because at work, as I say, we've got the face shield, face masks a lot. One day I started to wear them properly was the day before they put the main shield on desk. So, personal face shield on my head, face mask covering my mouth and my snoz. It took 2.5 minutes for it to start steaming up.
Wow.
And we've got it on
So-
our plate.
You think about it, all the PPE that has been sent to these retailers and the warehouses and stuff like that, where it's easy enough just to every single station, like let's take for example Falcon's work, where you've got a person at a station or a couple of stations, is just to go round and put like a couple of bottles of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, we have hand sanitizers stationed around the warehouse because I work for a major retailer.
Exactly.
And
And save the gloves and the masks for
we do now have masks because we a group of people did pressure them, but they are optional. I have worn one every now and then. I wore one the other day when I was on the goods in department, so I was getting close to people in the back of the trailer. The pick stations, it is limited amount of people, and then another automated system they've put up perspex shielding around the station to try and block people off getting ready for peak time, because when it comes into peak in a few months' time, it's going to be really awkward. They've adjusted the returns area as well to get more space for people. But anyway, should we? So yeah, PPE in the field is going to be a bit of a hard one.
Yeah, there's a right place and a right time for PPE. If it's used effectively in the right place, then yeah, it works.
Yeah.
But you put it in another environment where it's not really
effectively a
like,
combat environment.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah, I
mean, like
we might not be shooting real 5.56, 7.62 at each other, but we are still shooting at each other, running around trying not to be shot. So,
but
I mean, if you breathe on all your BBs, then you've got a chemical weapon. Just coughing into your balls.
now, I have seen
a Rona bullet. They're called Rona rounds.
I have seen.
I might lose his airsoft game, but I'm winning in the long run.
5.56 Rona.
No, 6mm Rona. 0.25G Rona. Now I have
50
seen
50 BMG Rona.
I have seen people, one company in Scotland, making washable, reusable MTP face masks. So I think that might be cool.
Yeah, you know the ones that we used to wear, me and Psycho when we first started.
No, these are actual like cloth fabric face masks to go over the top of your personal protection. For when
right.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, because what you can use, look, you know the motorcycle face buffs that you get?
Yeah.
That a lot of the airsofters use, to be fair.
Yeah.
If you get one of them, yeah, proper like face scarf, they'll work alright. A lot of people tend to break through them okay. But these, as you say, these paper masks, have that, one of these, and then what? A face, maybe even a helmet with voice. When are you going to be able to breathe?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, if you're a player that plays with a scarf or a buff or whatever they're called that goes over your mouth anyway, or a balaclava, leave your opinions in the comment. Tell us how it's playing. Do you think it'd be effective against the disease?
Rona.
But yes, so Wraith, are you still there? You've been very quiet.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your opinion?
He's just listening and taking it in.
What's your opinion on personal protective equipment outside of your standard airsoft gear?
I mean, there's no problem with it, but it just doesn't. I just don't see the point in playing with it. Might as well just wait until everything's done, and then when I can just run around as normal, really.
Yeah, like a crazy.
It's a good point, to be fair.
If you think about it as an airsoft site, if you just wait to open, everyone's going to save up all their money, and there's going to be a new shipment of Enola Gay stuff, and then everyone's going to spend about 300 quid on grenades. And all that's going to happen the first morning that you're open back, after everyone's able to breathe on each other again, all you're going to hear is just constant Mark 5s that are going off everywhere.
Yeah, don't forget the call your hit, I hit you.
It's not just that. One of the biggest things, right, is the longer the site waits, like Stormforce, and if like they open Stormforce when it's all over, think about it though.
Can you imagine how many people are going up?
Yeah, but it's not just that. Is imagine how much work
TLC
that Mark is going to be able to do on that site.
It's not just.
It's going to be yeah, it's a good time to upgrade. It's a good time to,
Yeah.
go and have a pretty damn good clear out, like, make new, like, sort of
Building.
new areas, new
Props.
buildings, new props and stuff like that, and
No,
Check the
come
weapons
back,
shack.
come
See if there's
back.
spare M1911 standing around somewhere. Clean it up, noise.
but the side
Think
effect
about
is-
it, like,
the side effect of that though is Irish. How are they going to afford it if they're not open? A lot of these sites are hand to mouth when it comes to money.
but to be fair though, it's not a case of, it might, think about it, if they've got no money, then it's going to be free if you, obviously, they've been furloughed from work, for example, just to go round and, like, I don't know, just cut back some of the bushes, pick up some of, like, and just create new paths. You could do that for free with a spade, for God's sake. You don't need to put money into a site
I'm just
to
saying.
be able to upgrade it.
And even so, when the site opens again, any site at all, you have like 200 plus players possibly joining, so that's a lot of money right there.
True.
But at the end of the day, it's what you got to realise is that quite a lot of people, because obviously with insurance rules, basically they're only allowed to do so many games a year. What you got to realise is that's gonna be on the side. Like, for example, let's take 6mil. Like, his job, he's got another job, and that is just, like, extra curriculum dollar for him.
Yeah.
So what you got to realise, quite a lot of these owners are doing it as a side venture because they want to, they enjoy it. So money, they might sort of, it's a case of going around and fixing stuff for free. Like, you can go and pick up a big bag of nails for a £5 from bloody B&Q. You just go around putting a bit of nails into things. You're going to be able to find planks of wood somewhere. Just do a bit of, like, just fix things that may be broken. Just give it a bit of a clean. Go around sort of painting stuff. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter if it's like a paint that you've got in the shed from when you've painted your living room. It's give it a bit of TLC, and people are going to come back, and you get like people have said, you're going to get 200 plus players every game coming back for a while.
Make it look like you've had a zombie apocalypse halfway through and just paint everything sort of like red blood spots everywhere.
Right.
That'd be great. Imagine coming back to Stormforce and forts full of blood.
Oh God.
Right, so, yeah, they told me there'd be zombies in the apocalypse. There's no zombies. I am sad.
Boobs.
Okay, so, enough about airsoft. Let's talk about real steel for a second. Have you all heard about the myth of the G36 and why the Germans don't like it as much as they have?
In your massive paragraph to the group chat, yeah.
So,
yes, we all understand because you gave really detailed. It was like a dissertation at university. It's like dissertation on the effects of the G36 on the German police by Ben Taylor.
It wasn't the German police, it was the Bundeswehr. Anyway, so I've got a G36 in my hands.
A real one?
No, it's airsoft, unfortunately. It's airsoft. But
be careful with that. It's the Fighting Rogue family heirloom.
It is actually, yeah. But the myth goes that after 30 rounds, after 60 rounds, which is 2 30-round box mags, because it is a plastic receiver, polymer receiver, and the trunnion, the chamber and the end of the barrel, is actually moulded into the body. It's not pinned in or anything like that. That after 60 rounds, the heat transfer from the chamber and the trunnion is that much that it melts the polymer slightly, and the zero ends up being off, and the grouping ends up being off, and it loses its zero. It actually ended up going to court in real life. H&K was taken to court by the German military, the Bundeswehr, over the G36 and how combat ineffective it would eventually become. But, so have you all heard that one?
Yes.
Before I told you about it. Yeah, and
nope.
Not before you told me about it, but now, yeah.
We got a very detailed explanation.
Yeah. And basically, in desert countries as well, in hot countries, the polymer would suffer quite badly. I'm not sure about the temperature one outside of combat, but InRangeTV, one of our favourite channels, because we've mentioned Forgotten Weapons and InRangeTV a couple of times now, haven't we?
Yes.
actually managed to get a hold of 2 G36s. These were custom builds by an American company. One of the G36s, they're semi-autonomous, so they're actually T36. One of them was German's parts kit, so German bolt, German barrel, German body parts and everything like that, dating back to the 90s when these weapons came out. And one of them was a brand new American build. Hang on a second. Just dying of corona. Yeah, and one of them was a brand new, and these were full-length ones. One of them was a brand new American build with a brand new 2020 built barrel, full-blown American receiver, body, trunnion, bolt, the works. Okay. What he did was he put 5 rounds on the target first, and then fired 60 rounds into the dirt. Let it sit for a couple of minutes for the heat to transfer, and he had a thermometer next to him. And from and this is in Arizona, so it was about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think it was about 40-something degrees Celsius.
I had to say, for us English folks, that's what?
40 degrees Celsius. He did change it. I was trying to remember. To from standing in Arizona to 65 rounds through it, because remember he's already put 5 rounds through on target. It went up 10 degrees Celsius to about 50, 51, and for the Americans it was about 120 Fahrenheit.
Smoking!
Now you think that's only two magazines of ammo for 60 rounds. That's not a lot of heat. That's 10 degrees Celsius isn't a lot, is it really?
No.
No. North, you've got more experience with live firearms. Would you care to comment?
What?
The heat from putting 60 rounds down range on a weapon. Do you think that's to go up by 10 degrees Celsius? Do you think that's a lot?
I don't know. I don't normally carry a thermometer.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was just, you've got the most experience with live firearms, so I was wondering if you had a comment. That's all.
Yeah, but you shoot it, and then you don't then go, oh damn, it's 10 degrees hotter. Damn.
Anyway, so he then put another 5 rounds onto the target, and he did it twice with the German weapon and once with the American, because something interesting happened with the German parts kit. The first round of the second lot of 5 was low, and then it pretty much retained its 0. And then on the second test, 2 rounds were low, but then it pretty much retained its 0. But the American one was pretty much dead on all the time. And what he reckons is the problem with this is the barrel, because of the 90s technology the technology used in the 90s barrel hadn't changed much, but after the 90s they changed the way they made metallurgy and barrel making. The whole science behind it changed apparently and got a lot better. So do we think in real life and in airsoft the G36 is as a terrible weapon as it was made out to be? After hearing about this test and or seeing it, Wraith, opinions?
I mean, I haven't really used the G36.
Don't worry, you'll own one soon.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'll pass it
When my missus' brother went to site, he used the G36 and he didn't like it that much.
on. Okay.
So, I mean,
it is a little bulky. Okay, Irish, if you've used one.
The airsoft version, the one that Falcon is holding, was one of the first guns that I ever bought when I started airsoft almost 5 years ago. And yeah, it's 5 years old, and it is still as good as the day. It's still pretty much bang on what it was out of the box, and there's been no upgrades to it whatsoever.
Yeah, because as you say, I think Psycho's got it now, hasn't he?
No, I've got it. I bought it off Psycho.
No, it went.
Oh, right, yeah.
Psycho bought it off me, and then Falcon bought it off Psycho, and Ben will agree it is still as good.
Right.
It's still as good now as it was out of the box.
Oh hell yeah!
So,
problem with the fuse, but that's just an electrical issue. But everything else runs.
But then at the end of the day, is things like the fuse and the hop is something that will go on every gun after a while anyway. It's the main mechanics of it, and it's still as brilliant. It's still brilliant now as it was out of the box.
It's one of the best feeding rifles we've ever actually had as well.
Yeah, it's bang on.
Okay, so Panther, what's your opinion on the G36? Do you think it's a good platform? Do you think it's got more potential than it's been given?
I reckon they don't need to jump to conclusions straight off the bat. I mean, as that guy did the tests, it dropped a couple of rounds, and it was literally a couple, rather than it would drop it
as well.
Yeah. So I mean, to be fair, and I'm pretty sure North, although he hasn't seen combat yet, unless I'm wrong, I don't think a couple of meters downrange lower is going to matter when you're shooting someone from 100 meters. I mean, the idea is for any weapon is get your head down, or I'm going to pop your clogs off.
I mean, it was only a couple of inches at 100 meters.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you're aiming for his chest, you've still got him in the stomach.
Yeah, I mean, when you're under fire, having sniper accurate precision isn't a major concern. It's more, let's put as many rounds down range as I can to make sure he doesn't shoot me.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
On the topic of accuracy and all that, I've got a fun little fact for you.
Go on, then.
Out of all the history of firearms being used in warfare, on average, there are more bullets fired per kill nowadays than ever before in history.
Was there?
Yeah, because you guys go by covering fire, don't you? You'd rather put things down range to keep people's heads down than actually kill people.
Yeah.
It's all about suppression.
Yeah, and then get close and find the target and eliminate him.
And then
here's a fun fact talking about accuracy and precision. The Bren LMG picture on the screen that was used in World War II. Do you know what its one of its major flaws was with the Bren?
The magazine was on the top.
Yeah, a second.
No, the major flaw with the Bren was it was too accurate for its own good.
It's a bit like the M14, isn't it?
Yeah. You think about what it was up against, the MG42, which was on a tripod or a rotating bipod, could just sit there and spray around. The Bren bipod was fixed to a degree. So it couldn't actually, and being with 30 rounds, it couldn't spray in a wide arc of fire like the MG42 34 could. So yeah, the Bren gun was a little too accurate for its own good, for what it was designed for. But anyway, so the G36 in just a bit of real skill for us all, because we're running out of stories here. So yeah, anyone else wants to add?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
As you say, there ain't really been much else, is there, going around?
It's been pretty slow.
But
Besides
as to be
people just
expected,
complaining
so.
about delivery times or sites trying to open itself, it's not much that's been cracking off. I mean, we've seen some TikTok-style memes floating around of people.
Let's not get started on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, why not, Josh? Why don't we do our own? I thought you would have recommended that by now.
No.
Because
That's
you
a side
do.
note.
Have you been keeping up to date with the news, Falcon?
Which one?
Just general news.
A little bit.
Then you will know that TikTok has been in the news because people obviously you have to be 13 to make an account on TikTok, and
Which I should hope we're all over 13 here.
there was a
Mental.
video.
Yeah.
There was a video of some parents reacting to some of their children's TikToks, and they were way too explicit for their age.
Ah.
And bearing in mind, what you got to realise is that
These
people can see them TikToks. You don't have to make an account to see TikToks.
No. I was
No, you
talking,
don't.
I was talking more like the one where they drop the magazine to each other, put it to the camera, and then change into their combat gear. You know, one of those sort of ones.
Be back in a minute again.
Okay, bye.
To be fair, I suppose it's exactly the same with like
Facebook,
with
Instagram,
anything.
Twitter.
Is
Tumblr.
there is good use of it and there's also bad. But TikTok were basically in the news because people didn't think it was actually as safe as it possibly could be.
The thing you've got to remember with sites like TikTok, Musical.ly, or whatever it's called now, is that the person watching this content, unless they specifically state their age, you can easily be fooled. And it has happened.
You can.
Yeah, so...
but again, it's then the responsibility of TikTok to then be monitoring the accounts to then make sure that the people that are under the age of 18 are actually posting responsible videos, like Facebook. Like, you can't... It's very difficult to post anything sexually explicit to Facebook.
Yeah, I know. But
because
that's where we go into all sorts of internet censorship, and that's not really something we want to do. Okay. Callum, you're very crackly, by the way, if you can hear me.
Right, hang on about.
But anyway, so anything airsoft, real steel, shooting, military that we want to talk about?
Not really. It's been because obviously of lockdown. Most people have been furloughed unless they can work from home, so there's not really much going on in the airsoft world, and there is the occasional thing to sort of pick on, like we have done in this video.
Oh, here's one.
But apart from that, there's not really much.
I've just come up with something. Painted riffs. What's everyone's opinion on that?
I think.
Should we let Panther?
Yeah, go on.
Panther?
Go on, Panther.
You are. It's alright, you guys, it's not just me that's being cracked at the minute, you guys are a little in and out, I reckon, for me.
Okay, anyway, so painted riffs, like combat paint or anything like that, what's your opinion, quickly?
Not two-tone, like combat digital camo.
Like proper, someone's taken a rifle and painted it to look like Special Forces painted black, painted camo, Desert E or whatever.
Done properly, looks amazing.
Okay. Wraith, opinion?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with them, as long as they are done properly.
Okay. North?
I think as long as you're happy with the riff you pew with, you keep shooting.
Okay. Irish?
I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't like them. The only ones I do like are the ones from like Lone Survivor, where it's like sort of all painted one colour. I'm not a big fan of camos. Yeah, I think snipers are another thing, because obviously the main thing about a sniper rifle is concealment. So you paint, if you're in woodland and you paint it with like green leaves, browns and stuff like that, I think that looks pretty cool when you're wearing a ghillie suit. But an assault rifle or anything else, no, I think unless it's a specific thing from like a film, where like Lone Survivor, where it's like all like a yellow deserty colour, that looks alright. But anything else, no, I think it just looks a bit silly.
I wouldn't go silly, but I'd have to agree. It's not my personal preference. I like them to look as they would outbox, should we say, like black like this.
Accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I've put armory marks, shall we call them, on my stuff. So RO4 for the G36 for rifle number 4, SO3 on the scope for sight number 3. But that is so I know. I can also tell which rifle is mine and which scope is mine if it ever were to fall off. I take the mags and number the mags up. Stuff like that, I don't mind. I think it's actually a nice little, especially if, like me, I'm doing an impression of military kit. I think that's an interesting little feature. But painting them, if you're going like a mercenary special forces style, and that is specifically what you're going for, I think it would work. But if you were then to change camos, into, say, multicam green or M81, and you've got a tan painted Riff, I don't think it would work. Snipers.
Yeah, it's a bit like running around with an Arctic camo style G30, say, and then throwing yourself on MTP.
Yeah.
So which one you're prepping for?
Yeah.
Snow or woodland?
Yeah. Sniper
Your
rifles.
Riff's got to match the camo.
Yeah, sniper rifles, I would agree with Josh. Painted. Pistols, if it's to go with the sniper kit, maybe. But another thing I would say for snipers, wrap it in camo. Cam netting or a green mesh that you can put
Yeah, because a lot of people tend to use ghillie nets, don't they?
Yeah.
For that sort of thing.
If you have like a green mesh, you could wrap it in and put some natural scrim. Sorry, I've got a bit of a hiccup. Yeah, put some, like a natural scrim into it, like you can do with certain helmets. Yeah, I've suddenly got the hiccups. But yeah, definitely painting. Personally, it's not for me. So, but if it's done good, it looks good. I will say that one. If you're going, so yeah, that's what I will say. If it's done really well, it can look good. If you, yeah, it depends on if where you're playing and what kit you're wearing.
No, I do think Falcon's right. Like, it's, you take a gun, like a black gun, for example, and you then paint it one colour, you can only use it with one type of camo. So, its uses are very, very limited. And also, think about the resale as well. If you wanted to sell it on afterwards, and it's coloured, you get so much less interest because people are going to go, oh, it doesn't match my camo.
Not potentially. I mean, some people might think, oh, actually, that's a bloody good paint job. I want it just for the paint job. But that depends on down to the buyer, really, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
I mean, a bit of a worn, wear and tear look. If you spray it with it, like, to make it look a bit muddy, what do you think to that? Or worn out?
Keep it black. Just keep it normal.
I mean, one of my pistols.
Look at the tree or two, and then you'd make it look scratchy. It'll be alright.
Yeah, I mean, my SIG pistol it's got natural weathering to it, where it's been scraped, bumped, banged, crashed,
thrown down the stairs.
Yeah. So, if you want a weathered look, just use the damn thing and don't clean it, and you will eventually get a weathered look. Because, like I said, all my paint's rubbing off that as it is anyway. So, I think we'll call that a night, shall we?
We shall indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. Leave any comments and opinions down in the comments below. What would you
Good
like?
opinions only.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit that little bell so you get notified when we upload next.
Yes.
And
Ding ding bell.
if you have any suggestions for videos we could do during the lockdown, please leave them in the comments below as well.
Even if that means shooting each other from the back garden when we're allowed to.
Or just shooting Ben.
Me,
just shoot
me and
Falcon.
Dirk did that before, it's fun.
Anyway, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.
Boy.